Do you not think that the libertarian movement needs to rethink the breadth of its appeal? That it hasn't discovered that it's too narrow?
No, in fact, I think really what's happened, I remember in the 1980s, you know, when my dad ran as the Libertarian candidate, the word libertarian was scary to people. Now I think it's the opposite. I meet people all the time who are liberals, but they'll come up and say, you know what, I'm a little libertarian on this issue and that issue. Or I meet conservatives who say, you know, I'm a little libertarian. And so it's actually, I think it's seen as a badge of honor now, and actually as a term that people don't want to run away from.
What is the meaning, in your view, of the rise of Donald Trump this year? What does that tell us about the Republican Party?
Well, I think it shows you that we do live in a celebrity culture, and when a celebrity decides to run for office, there's somewhat I would call a self-reinforcing news cycle. Everywhere you look, all day long, he's on TV. I don't think having a reality TV star probably is going to be best for the country.
Do you see him as capable of serving as president?
I worry very much. I think I worry about someone who is so self-absorbed with their own importance and their own ability to figure out problems that it's sort of like, give me power. You know, if you give me power, I am so smart and I am so rich that I will fix all of America's problems.
Let's talk about tax policy for a second. You're for a flat tax, simple. Critics say regressive would add to the deficit.
That would only be if you're unwilling to cut spending.
Trump, Jeb both say their plans, which would take the top rate down to either 25 or 28, Marco goes to 35, would dynamically jumpstart the economy.
Compare that to 14.5. I'd do everything at 14.5, business and individual. You'd fill out your tax return on one postcard, and I think there'd be a boom in this country like you've not seen before. But I'll tell you what's different about my flat tax than the others. Mine is actually different in the sense that I get rid of the payroll tax. So if you make $40,000 a year, you pay about $2,000 in FICA, your Social Security tax. I'd put that under the business tax. So people making $40,000 a year under my plan will get $2,000 more in their paycheck. And I think that would change my plan to make it more appealing to the working class. But my plan's not going through this Congress. Heck, Republicans don't even support a flat tax up here.
But why isn't that a signal that it's simply not realistic to talk about?
No, it's a signal we need to swap out the people up here. My goodness, people up here are for nothing.
John Boehner, Kevin McCarthy, you need those people out of there in a whole new group.
I think that turnover is a good idea. I think what's happened is that people get beaten down by the system, and the longer people are here, the less likely they will be involved in change.
The Libertarian Party platform, reaffirmed last year, calls for phasing out Social Security. I know you don't call for that, but if a movement is identified with that goal, that's on the wrong side of the public, isn't it?
Not every libertarian is the same.
Yeah.
On Social Security, ideally, there would be a private system, but we now have a government system and have had it for 60 or 70 years. I think the public is not ready to just wipe out Social Security, but I think the public would be ready to say, could we have an additional thing, a private account where you can save some privately?
Tell me what you've learned in the race so far about yourself, the Republican Party, and the strength of the libertarian movement.
I think as I've gone around the country, what I've discovered is that we are a party that needs to become more diverse. We need more working class folks. We need more folks from all sort of walks of life. And I've often said that when our party looks like the rest of America, we'll win again. Our hope is that people see that there's a little more to campaigning. You know, we've raised and spent about $16 million. So I think we have significant organizational strength.
You think you're still very much in this?
Absolutely. I think eventually people will reconsider the race. And my prediction is by the end of January, when we get to the first close voting, I think you'll see it reevaluate, and almost everybody will be the same. The leader will be 15%. There'll be many people in the low double digits and many people in the high single digits.
Senator, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thanks so much for checking out our channel. Here you'll find videos packed with all the info that you need to be smarter about your finances. Be sure and subscribe by clicking right here, and click on all the videos around me to see CNBC's original series Young Money, Tech Bet, Kramer's Mad Money, and all the latest from CNBC.